They told us Roman Reigns was finished. They told us the Bloodline was dead. They told us Jey Uso had finally escaped the shadow. They told us Jacob Fatu was the future. Roman Reigns heard all of it. And at the Royal Rumble 2026, he answered with violence. Because what we witnessed wasn't just a return to dominance. It wasn't just a reminder. It was Roman Reigns ripping the heart out of his own family tree and daring the entire WWE universe to do something about it. And before we even break down how Roman dismantled Jey Uso and Jacob Fatu, let me ask you this: did Roman Reigns just prove he never needed the Bloodline at all? Drop your answer in the comments because this conversation is about to get heated. The moment Roman Reigns' music hit, the entire arena shifted. Not popped, shifted. There's a difference. This wasn't nostalgia. This wasn't excitement. This was tension. The kind of tension where fans don't cheer because they're too busy bracing themselves. Roman didn't sprint to the ring. He didn't pose. He didn't acknowledge anyone. He walked with that cold, calculated pace, the same pace that once ruled WWE for years straight. And before the crowd could even decide whether to boo or cheer, Roman Reigns exploded. No stare down, no jawing, no dramatic build-up. He went straight for Jey Uso. And that alone told us everything we needed to know. Because if you understand Roman Reigns, you understand that Jey Uso isn't just another opponent. Jey is guilt. Jey is betrayal. Jey is the reminder that the Bloodline cracked because Roman lost control. And Roman does not forgive reminders. The first punch dropped Jey like he'd been hit by a truck. The second punch wasn't about damage, it was about sending a message. Roman didn't wrestle Jey. He punished him. Every strike looked personal. Every slam looked deliberate. Every second felt like Roman saying, "You thought you were free?" And here's a question for you: do you think Roman still sees Jey as family or just unfinished business? Because what happened next erased any doubt. Jacob Fatu entered the chaos like a force of nature. And let's be clear, Jacob Fatu is not a man you deal with. This is a walking wrecking ball. This is violence with legs. This is the guy people said would do to Roman what nobody else could. The crowd believed it. The commentary team believed it. Even Roman, for a split second, respected it. But respect does not mean fear. Jacob rushed Roman with speed that shouldn't be possible for someone his size, and Roman met him head on. No backing up. No retreat. No strategy shift. Just impact. The collision sounded like a car crash. And suddenly, the Royal Rumble match wasn't about winning anymore. It was about survival. Here's where the narrative flipped. Jacob Fatu started landing shots. Big shots. The kind that echo. A headbutt that snapped Roman's head back. A running splash that folded him in half. A slam that shook the ring. And for a moment, just a moment, you could feel the crowd thinking it. This might be it. But Roman Reigns doesn't break under pressure. He adapts. And when Roman adapts, people get hurt. Roman rolled out of the ring, not to recover but to reset the battlefield. That's something casual fans miss. Roman doesn't fight emotionally anymore. He fights intelligently. He baited Jacob. He pulled him out of position. He forced him to fight Roman's match. And then, Roman struck the weakness no one talks about. Jacob Fatu's rage. Roman let him swing. Let him rush. Let him burn energy. And when Jacob slowed down by even half a step, Roman Reigns destroyed him. A Superman punch that came out of nowhere. Not flashy, not pretty, just brutal. Jacob stumbled and Roman didn't let him fall. He grabbed him, pulled him back up, and delivered a spear so violent it silenced the arena. One spear wasn't enough. Roman dragged Jacob to his feet again. Another spear. And then, just to make sure the message was permanent, Roman turned around and locked eyes with Jey Uso. This wasn't coincidence. This was intentional. Roman picked Jey up like he weighed nothing. Jey fought back because of course he did. Jey always fights back. But fighting Roman Reigns in this state is like punching a wall and expecting it to apologize. Roman dropped Jey with a spinebuster that looked personal. Then another Superman punch. And here's the part that made fans angry. Roman didn't finish him right away. He stood over Jey, stared down at him, and mouthed words we couldn't hear but we all understood. "You never left." Jacob Fatu tried to get back into the fight. Bad mistake. Roman turned, charged, and delivered the most vicious spear of the night, one that sent Jacob flipping inside out. And then, Roman stacked them. Jey Uso, Jacob Fatu, both men, both rivals, both family. Roman stood over them like a king surveying a conquered kingdom. And this is where the debate begins. Was this dominance or was this cruelty? Because Roman wasn't done. He picked Jey up again. Another Superman punch. Jey collapsed. Roman turned to Jacob. Another spear. Jacob collapsed. And then Roman did something that split the fanbase in half. He acknowledged himself. Not the crowd, not the camera. Himself. And that gesture said everything. Let's talk about why this moment matters. This wasn't just about eliminating competitors in the Royal Rumble. This was Roman Reigns reclaiming his myth. For years, people said Roman needed the Bloodline. That without Jimmy G Solo and the rest, he was just another guy. Royal Rumble 2026 obliterated that argument. Roman didn't need backup. He didn't need interference. He didn't need numbers. He beat two of the most dangerous members of his own family, alone. So here's another question for you: is Roman Reigns more dangerous without the bloodline than he ever was with it? Because the evidence is stacking up. After eliminating both men, Roman didn't celebrate. He didn't pose. He didn't smile. He stood in the ring, chest heaving, eyes cold, scanning the chaos around him. That's when it hit everyone. Roman Reigns wasn't just in the Royal Rumble. He was hunting. Every superstar that entered after that moment hesitated. You could see it in their body language. They remembered what they'd just watched. And fear changes everything. Let's be honest. This performance made people angry. Angry because Jey Uso's redemption arc felt crushed. Angry because Jacob Fatu was supposed to be unstoppable. Angry because Roman Reigns refuses to follow the script fans write for him. But that's exactly why this worked. Roman doesn't exist to please the crowd. He exists to dominate it. And if you're someone who wanted Jey to finally surpass Roman, I get it. If you're someone who wanted Jacob Fatu to be the new monster, I get it. But wrestling isn't about comfort. It's about moments that make you feel something. And Royal Rumble 2026 delivered that in the most brutal way possible. Now here's the real conversation nobody's ready for. Roman Reigns didn't just eliminate Jey Uso and Jacob Fatu. He erased their narratives. At least for now. So let me ask you, where does Jey Uso go from here? Does Jacob Fatu need revenge or redemption? And most importantly, who can realistically stop Roman Reigns now? Because if Royal Rumble 2026 proved anything, it's that Roman Reigns isn't chasing the past. He's rewriting the future. And whether you love him or hate him, you're watching, you're talking, and you're not looking away. And that's the part that should terrify everyone on the roster. Because Roman Reigns didn't walk into Royal Rumble 2026 trying to win the match. He walked in trying to reclaim control. Control of the locker room. Control of the narrative. Control of his legacy. And after what he did to Jey Uso and Jacob Fatu, control was exactly what he took. Let's rewind for a second, because there's a detail people are glossing over, and it matters more than any spear or Superman punch. Roman Reigns never looked rushed. Think about that. In a Royal Rumble match where chaos is constant, where timing is everything, where hesitation gets you thrown out, Roman moved like time bent around him. That's not ring rust. That's not luck. That's experience mixed with absolute confidence. And confidence is dangerous when it belongs to someone this powerful. When the next wave of superstars hit the ring after Jey and Jacob were eliminated, something strange happened. Nobody rushed Roman. They circled him. They glanced at each other, silently agreeing not yet. That hesitation? That's dominance. Roman Reigns had re-established himself as the final boss without saying a single word. So here's a quick one for you: what's scarier, Roman Reigns with backup, or Roman Reigns when everyone is afraid to touch him? Because what we saw next answered that question loud and clear. One by one, competitors tried to test him. And one by one, they failed. A strike here, a counter there, nothing fancy. Roman turned the Royal Rumble into a lesson. A clothesline that sent one superstar flipping over the ropes. A sudden spear that erased another's momentum. A throw so effortless it looked insulting. Roman wasn't fighting to survive. He was conserving energy. That's championship mentality even without a title on the line. But the real turning point, the moment that solidified this entire night, came when Roman paused. Mid-ring, he looked up at the WrestleMania sign. And the crowd reacted instantly. Because now it wasn't just about dominance. It was about intention. Roman Reigns wasn't here to prove he could still hang. He was here to remind everyone that WrestleMania belongs to him. So let's stir the pot a little. Should Roman Reigns even need to win the Royal Rumble to main event WrestleMania? Because after that performance, the answer doesn't feel so obvious anymore. Now let's talk fallout, because this is where things get really interesting. Jey Uso didn't just lose. He was dismantled. Emotionally, physically, symbolically. For years, Jey's story has been about breaking free, about becoming his own man. And Roman just dragged him back into the storm. Does Jey spiral? Does he double down? Or does this finally push him to become something darker, something more dangerous? Drop your take below. Is Jey Uso stronger after this loss, or permanently broken by Roman Reigns? Because the answer changes everything. And then there's Jacob Fatu. This one hurts. Jacob came in with momentum, hype, and expectation. People wanted him to be the next unstoppable force. But Roman didn't treat him like a future star. He treated him like a threat that needed to be neutralized. And Roman Reigns is very good at neutralizing threats. So here's the uncomfortable question: did Roman Reigns expose Jacob Fatu too early, or elevate him by surviving him? Because losing to Roman doesn't end careers, but it does define them. By the time Roman Reigns was finally eliminated later in the match after multiple competitors teamed up, desperate and panicked, it almost didn't matter. The damage was done. The statement was made. Roman didn't look angry walking up the ramp. He didn't look disappointed. He looked satisfied, like someone who accomplished exactly what they came to do. And that should scare the hell out of everyone. Let's be real for a second. WWE has tried for years to move on from Roman Reigns. New faces, new eras, new next big things. And every single time, Roman finds a way back to the center. Not because he demands it, but because nobody else commands it the same way. Royal Rumble 2026 didn't just feature Roman Reigns. It revolved around him. And now the locker room has a problem. Because Roman Reigns is no longer tied to the bloodline. He's no longer weighed down by loyalty or betrayal. He's free, focused, and more dangerous than ever. So here's the final question I'll leave you with: is Roman Reigns heading into his most ruthless chapter yet, or his final one? Because after Royal Rumble 2026, one thing is undeniable. The tribal chief may have lost his tribe, but he never lost his throne. Sound off in the comments. Argue with each other. Defend your side. This is Ring Rumble, and if this moment proved anything, it's that the war for WWE's future just caught fire. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Argue, debate, rant. Because this is Ring Rumble and the fight never ends.